News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Can come true, it can happen to you if you're young at heart.
The next hour brings entertainment and information for those of you who are young at heart. Here are your hosts, Lynn Peterson and Al Jones.
If you're young at heart.
Hello. If you didn't get that first hello, you got the other three, right?
That's true. Hello
Welcome,
again.
And welcome, as Al Jones would say, and
What?
to Young at Heart.
That's right. I would say that.
We are still young at heart, aren't we?
We are still young at heart.
Yes, we are.
Is that a song about young at heart?
Yeah, there is a song, yes, and that is our theme song. Everybody should know it by now because we have been on the air for, we thought, only a year as of the beginning of October, but it's been since August. Shows you how much fun we've had. The years
That's
just
right.
gone. I like that.
Just
Doesn't
like
matter
that.
how old you are, the years just go.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's true. Listen,
What?
I want you to read this.
Listen well.
Can you see this? 'Cause
No,
this is
not without
funny.
my glasses.
I think you'll have some fun with that.
Wait, I just heard the most incredible, stupid thing today on the news.
What's that?
And I think it's in Sweden, Denmark, or one of the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
that they're thinking of imposing a fat tax
What?
on all fattening food. And what they're thinking about now, how would this go over in America? And we know that we have a problem with obesity here in America. 35% of Americans is what they're predicting.
Wow.
But a lot of lower income families, they do live off fast foods.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you imagine if they have to be taxed on top of that? Because
Yeah.
it's inexpensive. That's ridiculous. It's like
It
our
is.
amendment rights are being threatened here.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Wow.
already are, but
Yeah.
that's just taking it way too far.
They are. They're doing too many negative things to us. I don't like that.
Yeah. So this is over in Europe right now.
Right.
So.
So since you talk about that,
Oh, now I can
This
talk
is-
about prices of gas in France.
right.
A thief in Paris planned to steal some paintings from the Louvre. Oh, I've read this one. After careful planning, he got past security, stole the paintings, and made it safely to his van. However, he was captured only 2 blocks away when his van ran out of gas. When asked how he could mastermind such a crime and then make such an obvious error, he replied, "Monsieur, this is the reason I stole the paintings. I had no money to buy Degas to make the Van Gogh. See, if you have the gall to send this to someone else, I sent it to you because I figured I had nothing to lose." Ha ha! Oh, we have to plug something. She's throwing this pink paper. Is our sponsor. Who's our sponsor?
Buari. That's the
Buari?
Buari.
Buari. Oh, the Buari. Everything's like European today.
It is Buari. There you go, Buari
Yes,
Clinic.
there we go, the Buari Clinic.
That's
and that's
what
the
we
weight
just talked
loss.
about that,
Yes,
yeah.
that's the weight loss clinic.
Right.
Guaranteed to lose a pound a week.
Right.
And that's not just water weight.
No,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Oh, a day. I was going to say, boy, that doesn't make sense. A pound a week, that would only be like 4 pounds a
Yeah.
month.
That's not bad. Yeah.
No, but losing 4 pounds a month is not bad
Yeah.
either. If
Yeah.
it's fat, not
Yeah.
water. What do you got? You got some? Why are you leaning into me? You're like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Pizza. That's because I like
Pizza.
pizza. Pizza.
No, you just
There's
like
a-
being near me.
Yeah, oh, that's true.
We have a great roster of guests if we can get to it, if you ever get
We
to what
will.
you're doing.
We will.
Golly, Al.
This is Red Skelton. The recipe for a perfect marriage.
I love Red Skelton.
Yeah, he says, we always hold hands. If I let go, she shops. Ooh.
That's something Bob Hope would have said too, I think.
Right.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Bum, bum, bum. One more. I asked my wife where she wanted to go for our anniversary. Somewhere I haven't been in a long time. She said, I suggested the kitchen.
Oh, you are just a funny man. Oh, you aren't, but Red Skelton was.
Yeah, I can't.
He was wonderful. We do have a plethora of guests today that
We do,
you'll have
yes.
to stand by and watch. Of course, we've got Southwest Medical here, and they're going to be talking about the ABCs of medicine along with the importance of flu shots. And Big Al and our cameraman, Jason, they both are going to have their shots done on air.
And
So.
Deanna's
And Deanna, our roving reporter for KPVM-TV, Channel 41 News, and 46, and 43, and 44, 45, 80, 90, 85, 1,000.
412.
412. All those different stations. So they'll be on. Of course, we'll have Flo Provenza talking about all things history in Southern Nevada. And we're talking about famous people from an era gone by in Las Vegas.
She knows so
And
much.
bringing up, not that he's in an era gone by, but we're going to have Steve Rossi with us today from, of course, the famous half duo of Rossi and Allen.
That's right.
And he'll be in our station. Our station? He'll
Our
be in our studio.
In a studio.
So it's going to be a fun morning, especially
right.
watching him scream getting his shot. So stay with us. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show, folks. My next guest, or first guest, I should say, is Miss Pam Beal and Mr. James Oscarson. And they're here to talk about flu shots. Now, how important is it to get a flu shot?
Influenza is a very serious disease, and flu shots are really important.
Very important. Well, I and Mr. Over there is going to, Jason is going to demonstrate this, and we're going to get a shot. And I hope that he handles this well.
I'll be fine.
Introduce your guest.
And this is Miss Jennifer Valerie, PA, with the Southwest Medical Associates.
She gave me my shot last week.
And you're still standing. That's
Oh, honey,
good.
I don't ever have reactions, and that's the easiest thing in the world. Stab and go.
All right. Jason, we want you to take this without any response, okay?
When's the poke?
It's over.
Oh,
Yay! Don't go away when she comes with a Band-Aid on. You get a free Band-Aid.
all right.
I should have brought the hot pink ones.
Did we get a sucker?
No lollipop.
No lollipop.
Good
That was
job.
when I was coming on the Air Force. A lollipop.
Oh.
No, no
we'll
lollipops
get
for you.
one. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Next.
Big Al is next.
Get my gloves on while they do this.
Yeah.
What do I do? Read this? Let's see. Those people who are over 65. And I'm over 65.
And a half. All right. You can talk.
I can talk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What am I going to say? Some people should not get inactivated influenza vaccinated or should wait. I should not wait because I am over 65.
Yes.
In fact, I, Big Al, will be 80 soon.
Unbelievable.
It is.
Yes. It is.
Can you
Sure. I'll hold this up there.
Yeah.
just up a little bit higher?
Okay.
Look at those biceps.
Yes. For a man my age, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till.
See how easy it is? He's smiling. Yes. He won't even know what hit him.
You're running with Mary.
It's over.
Is it over yet?
Good job.
It's all
Way to
over.
go, Evan.
Are you on blood thinners?
Blood thinners, what are those?
Aspirin or anything like that?
No.
All right.
That was
All
good,
done.
and I congratulate you,
Thank
and
you.
I thank you also. Okay, back to the other chair. Now, back to my guess about influenza. I can't even say it right on that shot. Tell us something about flu that the average person should know about.
Well, first of all, influenza is a serious disease, and it can lead to hospitalization and even death sometimes. And so that's why it's really important for anyone that's 6 months older, 6 months and older, to get a flu shot. It's just simple, just like you just demonstrated and got your flu shot. It's that simple to get.
Wow. What about the flu season? Can you talk about a little bit about that flu
Well,
season?
flu season has begun. We're in the midst of flu season. It usually starts about October and it ends, it peaks in February, and we usually see a lot of cases in southern Nevada around February because of the holidays and because of all of our visitors coming to Las Vegas from the east. And so from October through about February, and even sometimes March.
Well, who should get a flu shot? Who are the people that I should say that it's important to get a flu shot? I mean, the different people, like, you say pregnant women, children younger than 5, and all those kind. What about we who are, mature?
Okay, so there is a certain group of individuals that should receive the flu shot, and those individuals include, first of all, children. They are at high risk for flu, and also pregnant women and adults that are older than 50. But I want to just stress and reiterate that CDC recommends that anyone that's 6 months and older should receive a flu shot, and we need to especially pay attention to those high risk groups.
Well, should we do this every year?
Every year, every single year, because there's a new strain that's out, and we should do it every single year.
Now they talk about something about where these the flu comes from, like they can come from overseas or places like that. Also, is that what they're talking about sometimes?
Well, just kind of want to speak a little bit about CDC. The strains first come from the islands, and it comes, their season in the southern hemisphere is a little different than ours and stuff. And so that's where the strain comes from. I'm not a scientist, and so for more information with that, I would say check with your public health department. But we do a really good job here knowing the strains, and for this year, there's three strains, including H1N1.
Wow, I didn't know that. Ew. Are the vaccines safe? Are they safe?
Very safe.
They're very safe, so I don't have
Save
to worry
millions
about it.
of lives.
Oh, so forth, so I can still date and all that kind of good stuff.
You can do whatever you want. Vaccines are safe.
I mean, I won't have a problem if I'm trying to kiss somebody.
You're not going to have a problem.
What about the cost? I know Jim's going to talk about his, and then I'm going to come back to you. Jim, understand that they got a fair going on at the hospital?
On the 15th of October, we're going to have it's called the Fall Health Festival, basically. It's something we have done the last 2 years in a row. And we'll be offering anybody who comes for as many doses we have, and we have a whole bunch of them, no-cost flu shots to the community. And that will be from the ages that Pam described all the way up. And it's an exciting time. We know things are a little difficult out there right now, when you can come get one for no cost. Plus spend some time doing some of the other things. There'll be about 28 different people doing different things with the at the health fair, from bone density screening to blood pressures and all those kind of things. So it'd be a great opportunity to come and get your, if the reason you're coming is to get a flu shot, do that, and then check out some of the other things that are available there.
Where?
Desert View Hospital, 360 South Lola Lane, from 10 to 2 on October 15th.
October 15th, I had a young lady, a girlfriend named Lola. And I don't know where they went, what Lola was. Lola
Probably
gets.
named the street after her.
You think so? But that's October the 15th. And
It is, from 10 to 2, and we're excited. Rotary's going to be out there cooking hot dogs for people. There's
see, I didn't
all
know
kinds
that.
of all kinds of things going on. There'll just be all kinds of great opportunities for people to check on their health.
Is there a number that they should call?
If they want to call the hospital or call me directly, my number is 751-7120. They can call me if they have questions about it. People who want to be exhibitors who may want to be there, there's no cost to be an exhibitor there. And we're limited to health-related things. Roseman University this year is helping us with that. But most importantly, Southwest Medical Associates is helping us. And they're coming out and administering all the flu vaccines for us, as they've done in the past with our immunization events. And we couldn't do it without them. So we appreciate the fact that they're participating and helping us.
This is one of the first time that I think you're doing this over there at the hospital.
No, we've done some immunization clinics for children earlier in the year. We did 2 of those. Last year we did the flu shot for the flu shots. We had, I think, 400 or 500 people we did last year. So we're banking on having a lot more this year, and we're ready for them.
Oh, very good. Back to you, Ms. Pam. Is there any statistics in regards to flu shots that shall we say, that people didn't get them and the problem that they've had by not getting the flu shots?
Well, in the United States, we've had over 36,000 deaths because of for flu, and 200,000 people are hospitalized each year.
Each year?
Yeah, for not receiving the flu.
Well, this is so important that people should understand this, and that's why I wanted to bring that in, that without getting the flu shot. And when people talk about, well, that's dangerous, I'm not going to do that, it does not do anything negative to you.
Nope, it's just a little stick, just like you received today. And most of all, it's safe, and it will protect not only those who are receiving the flu shot, but their families as well.
Now, if anyone needs any more information, can they call you someplace?
They can call our coalition, the Southern
Yes.
Nevada Immunization Health Coalition, at 702-933-7329.
And this would give them information that they need to know. And of course, with you at the Mr. Oscarson at the Desert View Hospital on Lola Lane, that's going to come up October the 15th, which is not too far away.
Saturday. And the Immunization Coalition provides these immunizations for our community.
Wow.
They provide them at no cost, and they're an important supporter of what we do as well as the others. So we appreciate all they do, all Pam and her group do.
Very good. Is there anything, the last word with the little time we have left that you'd like to leave with the folks?
We are just so grateful for in our partnership with Desert View Hospital. We can't say enough. I think since April, we've done, like James mentioned, several events, and also Southwest Medical Associate has been our partner as well.
Wow. Well, I want you to know that I appreciate you guys coming in and sharing this information with our public here, because I think it's very important. Folks, you see, I'm still up and still breathing and everything, and I've had my flu shot. So, hey, come on, October the 15th at Desert View Hospital. Come on over there, free flu shot and food.
I had mine 2 weeks ago, and I'm really in great shape.
Well, yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Stay tuned, folks. We shall return after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, folks. And, of course, I still feel fine. Anyway, my next guest is Dave Alazetta. Did I say that right? Hey,
I haven't quite heard it said that way, but you said it right.
Hey, listen, me.
Dr. Dave.
Dr. Dave, yeah, okay. Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the United Health Care of Nevada. And you specialize in Senior Dimensions Medicare plan over 10 years. Now, this is something I think every senior need to know. What should seniors know about the ABCs of Medicare?
Well, you know, it's interesting, Al. First of all, thank you for inviting me on this show. There's been some statistics and research that shows that Medicare can be confusing. There's a lot of people that are turning 65, the infamous baby boomers, as we all know them, and I happen to be one. They are turning 65 at a rapid pace, and many are confused when it comes to Medicare. And in fact, I was just at the senior center earlier today, and even talking to some of the more seasoned individuals out there, they're confused about Medicare. So I think it's important when people are learning about Medicare to learn the basics. We call it the ABCs of Medicare. And real quick, Part A of Medicare is about hospitalization. Part B is about the physician costs and really everything else other than hospitalization. And then, of course, you have Part D, which is the drug portion of Medicare. Part C is relates to the Medicare Advantage plans that are out there, like Senior Dimensions, where you have A, B, and your drug coverage all kind of wrapped up into one particular plan that you can access all those coverages. So although it seems like it could be a very, very complicated and confusing concept, once you break it down to its simple parts, it's something you can grasp.
Well, I know you were talking about the confusion that that people have as far as breaking this down into Medicare, the other part of that, like you said, the ABCs. That's been so confusing as far as people who may be on Medicare and don't understand the other part. Like, for instance, they're on Senior Dimensions for the other B part. They don't understand all that. And this is something that I thought would be good for people, say, to know. As far as beneficiaries and those kinds of things, Medicare options, can you talk a little bit about those kinds of things?
Sure. I think what's really important for the individuals to understand right now is what's working for you. What you need to take your own needs into consideration. You know, what doctors do you see? What prescriptions do you take? Do you travel a lot? All those types of things figure into what type of plan is best for you. I think each individual has special needs, and what might be right for you, Al, may not be right for your neighbor because they have a little bit different circumstances. So I think first and foremost, they need to have a very clear understanding of what their medical needs are. That helps you get through the maze of concerns, because then you can look at a particular plan, line up the plans on your coffee table and say, okay, this one meets my needs, this one doesn't. That's what you need to understand, is what are your own individual needs.
Because I know, like, I'm, of course, with Medicare, and I haven't changed anything. So if I don't change anything, everything stays the same. What about when they talk about, each year, if you're going to change plans, they give you a certain time to change that, like in the certain month of the end of the year to start that change and go into it, see what you need, like you said. What about those kinds of things?
That time is here.
It's here now.
Every year you get an opportunity to evaluate your plan. Is it the plan I want? How is it going to change for 2012? That period begins this year earlier than ever before. This year, it's called the annual election period, AEP. It begins October 15th.
Okay.
Now, October 1st was a critical date because that's when we can start talking about the benefits that a plan is offering. But you actually can't make an election choice. You can't change from one plan to another until October 15th. That period will go till December 7th. That's a critical date because most of the time, everybody tends to procrastinate these types of decisions, and they'll wait till the very last moment. And in the past, that last moment was December 31st. Well, this year they don't have that luxury. You have to make a decision by December 7th. So one of the messages I think is important for everybody to really absorb and understand is the period of time to make that change is from October 15th to December 7th. And I'm sure mailboxes are being stuffed as we speak with all sorts of promotional information that's going to be giving that message out loud and clear, talking about benefits. But that's the period of time that you have to make the choice this year.
What about information about how I can save money, or people can save money? Is that on the different plans? Is that something that they should be concerned about, saving money?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The cost of health care, it's no surprise to anybody, can really be quite an expense. There are some tips that I think people should know about. Again, understanding what your own personal health care needs are, understanding what the co-payments are on a plan or a premium. Many premiums that are available for the plans here in Pahrump are zero premium plans, but that doesn't mean they're free, because you're going to pay when you go see a doctor. You're going to pay if you go to the hospital, and you're certainly going to pay when you go to buy your prescriptions. So you have to have an understanding of what your personal needs are to find out what that total dollar cost is. Things you can do to save money. Make sure you get all the preventive coverages that are available to you through your plans. Heck, what's better than catching something before it gets to anything serious? Or if it is something serious, you're going to catch it right away and be able to deal with it. You can also start looking at generics. I mean, generic medications are a very important part of how to budget for healthcare right now. And of course, it's between the patient and their physician to determine which is best. But those are just a couple little things I think they can take into their own. That's their own. They have the power to come up with those types of savings. Preventive measures, generics.
Which is great. Where can viewers find more information or learn more about Medicare, and this year's annual election period?
Well, the annual election period is pretty set. It's October 15th to December 7th. That's a good message to repeat a number of times. You can learn more about the plan. Senior Dimensions is going to be either at the Pahrump Nugget or at the Senior Center probably every week throughout that period of time, so there'll be ample time for people to learn about those plans and what they have to offer. From a more objective perspective, I'd like to refer people to either calling 1-800-MEDICARE, great source of information, or go onto the internet and www.medicare.gov. Great. All you gotta do is punch in your zip code and it'll tell you all the information you need to know for your particular area. So 2 good sources.
Ah, great. Now, here in Pahrump, we have quite a few seniors. You have, 40%?
About closer to 70.
70% seniors. And a lot of the seniors here may be a little confused about kinds of things of which, plan should they go to, or which organization like Humana or Senior Dimensions, and how does that normally work? I know we talked about that, each one of them. How does that really work for the senior to make a decision?
Well, again, I think it's important when looking at those 2 companies, let's say, or any other option, because there's also Medicare supplemental policies that are available to Medicare beneficiaries here in town. It's important to understand your personal needs. Who is the doctor that you see? Where do you want to get your health care from? What prescriptions are important for you? Each plan has a different list of prescriptions known as a formulary. On that formulary, we'll have what the prescriptions are that they will offer and at what level they'll offer them at. Generics, preferred, not preferred. Those are important things that you have to understand. So, I can talk about Senior Dimensions and I could probably fill your hour show about some of the great things Senior Dimensions done. But what's really important is that may not mean anything if it's not the right benefits for that individual. And I think that's the ultimate objective, is making sure a person gets a plan that fits their needs, more importantly than mine.
Right. Well, I appreciate you coming in fact, sharing that information. In fact, you have to have you come back, because I know there's other questions even I would like to ask, being that I am a senior.
And see, and my interview is not painful. You're not going to walk away with a sore arm.
Well, that's true.
Try being his co-host.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Listen, thanks again.
Al, it's my
Dave.
pleasure. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Stay tuned, folks. We shall return after these messages. Young at Heart.
Welcome back to Young at Heart. Our next guest doesn't need an introduction anymore. We have Flo Provenza on the show quite often. And we're going to talk about something that I find fascinating. It's all the different characters and people that you knew in the Las Vegas area.
Yeah.
During that realm of, I don't know if you call them bygone days or
I don't know what it was, but it was a long
Rat
time
Pack
ago.
days, or if it's the exciting days of Las Vegas, because it starts out, in the 50s and 60s when it was really just getting going. And
it was unique.
It was unique back then.
The thing about it was that no matter who they were, no matter what their name was, no matter how much money they had or how important they were to the town, everybody, they were just people.
Absolutely, yes.
And
making
I
a
learned
living
a
like
lot.
all of us making a living.
Yeah, I learned a lot by living there because some of the things that happened. And we were nobody. We didn't have any money. We had 7 kids.
Right.
But we kind of got involved with things through school and the kids that went to school with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And just meeting people from one place to another, because it was a small town.
At that time, yes.
So I wanted to tell you about Ennio Bologna.
Ennio Bologna.
That's
Sounds
right.
like Ennio.
Ennio was the world's greatest cellist player.
Wow.
And on his 75th birthday, which was a long time ago because I was in my very early 30s at the time, his wife Dorothy had a party for him.
Hmm.
And so we went to the party, and it was such fun. They had, I can't remember his name, but he had something to do. He was about my age at the time, but I hope he looked a little older than I do. And he played the piano, and he had something to do with Naughty Marietta, the operetta, when they first opened it in 1936. So you know,
Naughty Mary operetta.
Naughty Marietta. It's an
Marietta.
operetta, And
Leave it to you to go, know something that.
well, at his birthday, he was there, and there was a piano there. Ennio was there with his whatever they call it.
Cello?
What do they call it? I guess that's what it is. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm getting
it's
old.
stand-up cello with the
Yeah.
you play.
Yeah.
Stand-up cello.
And he was there, and then they had, couldn't have been Chewy, I don't think. I think Chewy was Chewy Miranda, but I think he was younger.
Now, who
But
was Chewy Miranda?
guitar.
Oh,
But
for all of you out there, if you've been in the Vegas
I don't know
area,
if it
then
was
Chewy
him
Miranda. That's an
or
interesting
an
name.
older guy or an older man.
Okay.
But we had so much fun, and one of the people that was there, who was like my age, a lot of them were what I am now.
Oh,
And
okay.
Pete and I were
You were
very
the
young.
youngest, yes.
And because his wife was a lot younger than he was. And this woman was so nice and so dignified, and I sat and talked with her for a while. And the first thing she said, and so dear, what movies were you in?
That's right, because everybody you knew, is it in the film business or in
And
the
I said,
entertainment
well,
business?
I never was. Oh, you could have been. I said, well, thank you.
You should have said I was too busy having 7 kids.
It was Louis Stone's wife. Do you
Oh,
remember?
Louis Stone.
Louis Stone. He always played the dignified judge or
Okay.
father or grandfather.
In all of those. And
Yeah.
that's the amazing thing with character actors, especially from the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah.
You recognize their faces, but you don't the names. That's so
Yeah.
sad because they were good.
Yeah,
so
he
it
was
was
a
his
good
wife.
actor. So we had a ball, and the three of them had a contest going. And the contest was that they were playing beautiful music or modern music or just junk music. But whenever one of them changed the note and started on a different one, the other two had to go right into it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like
And
lots of fun.
oh, it was just watching them. And every once in a while, one of them would screw up, and they'd start laughing. So that was a lot of fun, and just knowing people like that. Then we had some people called Shepherd. His dad was a blacksmith in Los Angeles when movies started.
Wow.
And a lot of times they needed a camera or a hoist or a ramp or something, and they would go to the blacksmith shop to get it done. This was silent films.
So we're talking the early 1915.
Oh, yeah.
20s.
Yeah. Yeah, around that time,
Yeah.
when they first started. And then that company grew, the Shepherd's company grew. And later on, when our kids were all real little, and we lived in a little house on Spencer Street.
Now we're talking, this is now in the 60s, not in the 20s.
Yeah, early 60s.
You're right.
And we met them out at the hotel once for some reason, and they got very friendly. They liked Pete a lot. They saw him out there. And then one year they called and she wanted to know if it was okay if they came to our house for Christmas dinner.
Amazing.
And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I hardly have enough room for the family in that kitchen.
Right.
So we had to get a little extra table, set it up. She brought me a fur
Coat.
jacket,
Oh my
a
goodness.
beautiful fox jacket. And, I'm short and dumpy. And this little
Aw.
short jacket, my sister ended up with it. She was tall and lovely. And she gave all the kids silver dollars.
Oh, nice. For Christmas presents, huh?
They were just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And she just wanted to have Christmas with a family because it never happened to her.
Wow.
And so they became friends. And eventually that company was bought by Lucille Ball and her husband,
That's the Stewart Company.
whatever it is.
Right. Well, it was.
Started out the Shepherds.
Right. Shepherds.
Yeah.
Shepherds.
And then sadly, later on,
Age.
many years later, if she'd come to Las Vegas, Pete would call me and say, Mrs. Shepherd's here, could you come out? She'd like you to go around with her a little bit. I'd go out, she'd give me a roll of dimes or something, which I'd rather have taken home to the kids. But I'd play the dimes, and go around with her. And one day she came out there and Pete said, you better come out, there's something wrong. So I went out to the hotel. She was at the hotel with a house dress, with a pin holding it closed, a button down the front house dress. She had just lost it.
Oh, that's too
so
sad.
we called him, and Pete took her back down to California. But just all the different people like that. Another one, Mancini. He was
Henry Mancini?
No.
Oh.
This was
I loved Henry Mancini.
Yeah, well, you're musical.
Oh, that's true.
This was a producer. I think he did the show with the Lone Ranger and Tonto.
Oh, okay.
One of
So
those shows. He was a producer.
Okay, he produced those. Okay.
So one weekend when he was there, Pete mentioned to him that he was taking off. We were all going out to Warm Springs.
Mhm.
Someday I'll bring you pictures of what it originally was.
Oh, she's always
like.
promising bringing pictures, and
I will.
I'm waiting.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah,
Everybody
'cause
out
it's
there
gone.
is waiting. Yes, it is gone.
And so anyhow, he said, "Oh, that sounds great," and you think that we could possibly go out there with you? And Pete said, "Sure, hell yeah." So we packed up the kids, some food. It was an hour ride, and we got out there with them, brought them out there, sat in the little warm waterfalls. The kids played, relaxed, cooked dinner, and went back. About 2 weeks later, they came to Vegas and called and said, "Come on out and have breakfast with us." He had brought a friend with him too.
From California back out to Vegas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so when we got there for breakfast, George Gobos was there having breakfast.
George Goebel, I remember him.
He was great. He was great.
Actually, did I ever tell you that he was my husband's godfather?
No,
George
you
Goebel.
didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but he used to be a yodeler before he got into as a comedian.
I didn't know that.
And he was with Hesse and the Hot Shots. Hesse something in the Hot Shots. If anybody knows that, it's a great trivia question to look up. But
Oh,
was
he
a
was a
yodeler.
nice guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, anyhow, so they started telling him about 2 weeks ago they went out to Warm Springs, and he'd love to go. So they said, "Hey, kids," and he gave Pete the phone number to call and let us.
Right.
He was going to be there for like 2 or 3 weeks at the hotel. So about 2 Saturdays later, we're getting packed to take the kids out to lunch. He asked, "Did you call and tell George Goebbels we'd pick him up and take him out there?" Pete said, "Those people meet so many people, honey. He probably wouldn't even remember." So we just forgot it and we went out there. Another couple of weeks went by. Mancini and his wife and his friend, they came back out. "Come on out and have breakfast." He said, "What happened?" "George was so disappointed."
That you didn't go. Oh my God. Well, it just goes to show people are people. They're real.
Yes.
And on that note, we're going to bring Flo back for more information, but we've got to go to a commercial message, and she'll be back
Next week.
next week. And here we are again at Young at Heart. Our next guest probably doesn't need an introduction as well as like Flo. You're probably just as famous as Flo is here in
Oh, I
Portland.
think so.
Yeah, we have her on every week.
She's older than I am, but she doesn't look it, I'll tell you
No,
that.
she's a pretty hot woman. But we have Steve Rossi in the house. And the crowds roar.
Hi, everybody, I'm the white guy.
You had something to say about that, that title.
I understand that you and Slappy White did something
Wow.
where he said, "I found me a white woman. You find yourself one."
No. He found him a white man. You found yourself a white woman.
No, but you know what was funny about Slappy White and I were the first black and white team. And so we would go on the Carson show quite a bit because Slappy used to do it before I did it.
Right.
So I'd come out and say, "Hi, I'm Rossi." He'd walk out, he'd say, "I'm white."
He was
That
funny.
That's true.
Oh, he was great. He's the one that taught me how to do stand-up.
Is that right?
And he originally was partnered with Red Fox, who was Fox and
Wow,
White.
yeah.
And they worked the Chitlin circuit in those days in the South.
Yeah.
And they closed their act with a dance number, which I saw a film that they did of it. And they were both great dancers as well.
Wow, yeah.
But I worked with him and Mom's Mabley at the
Mom's
Shrine
Mabley.
Auditorium. That's where we did the album, I Found Me a White Man, You Find Yourself One.
I still have her album.
You have
Mom's
Mom's
Mabley,
Mabley?
yes. Yeah.
Well, then I've got a question. Were you and Slappy White before Marty?
No,
Or that
Marty,
was after?
Slappy and I got together when Marty's wife passed away.
Okay, all right.
And he was in mourning for about 3 years.
Oh, my.
And Slappy and I started.
Right. Because you were saying how he actually was the one that taught you stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So were you really the straight man then to
Well,
Marty's?
I was gay before I was straight. But anyhow, it was...
Karma, do you
I
know
always
about
wondered
this?
that.
You do now.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, you're still funny.
Well, I hope so.
No, I always wondered why they called the one who feeds the questions the straight man.
Yeah.
As if we were gay at one time, and all of a sudden we turned straight, you know.
Well,
But
comedy will do it to you,
yeah.
you know, you never know.
And I just wrote a gag, you know, for years in the military it was don't ask, don't tell, you know.
Oh,
Now it's
funny.
show and tell.
That's really, hey, well, you've got a question to ask him about the Mae West connection.
Oh,
How'd that
yeah,
happen?
that's right. Now, how did that happen with you and Mae West
Yeah,
at
that's
that time?
kind of interesting.
Well, we had a physical relationship going for many years. No, she was 65. She was 65 years old when I met her. I was 20, and then we came to.
You were the Cary Grant.
Oh, that was
character.
her Cary
Oh my
Grant
gosh,
type
okay.
character for her. And we opened at the Sahara Hotel in 1953.
Wow.
And the marquee had her name in 100% billing. And my name, which was Joseph Charles Michael Taffarello, is my real name. And this is in 53. So we were looking at the sign the night before, and she says, "What do you notice up there?" I said, "My name." It takes the whole sign. It's 31 letters. She said, "What about my name?" It's hard to notice.
Smart kid. You are very smart.
From now on, your name is Steve Rossi, and I kept it, and that's how my name happened.
But the word combination of why she hired you because of the Steve and the Ross, wasn't it because of her manager
No.
and
Oh, yeah.
her boyfriend?
Her
Is that why
her
she hired
manager,
you?
Her manager's name was Alan.
Ross.
Ross.
Right.
Bernie Ross. So she added the I because I was Italian.
Uh-huh.
And she was going with Steve Cochran, who was an actor in those days. And so she gave me the name Steve.
I
And
thought
it
that
just
was
stuck
just
with
pretty
me,
good.
yeah. It was a lot of fun.
How was it working with her?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
She,
She seems like she would be a hoot and a half to
and we had
just hang out with.
had Mr. America on the show with us, Mr. Universe, Mr. World, about 8 world-class muscle men. And the opening number was with the muscle men. I'm sure we won't have time to tell you that, but
We'll have to
anyhow,
have you come back.
it was long before the Chippendales. You know,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
53.
I want to hear about the muscle man.
Yeah, I know you would.
What do you mean we don't
I
have
was
time?
at that time, and I'll just show my body.
Oh yeah, show that picture. Show Steve's publicity photo. Now talk about a hot-looking man. I mean,
and that's me
Jeff's got
now.
it.
It's just
Right.
amazing.
You look wonderful.
Wow.
Look at that. Woo-hoo.
Well, for 79, I think I'm okay.
I think so too. I think
I'm-
not a problem
and I'm
there.
physically attracted to this
Uh-oh.
gentleman.
So,
I don't know what it is.
so maybe it would be that I found me a white woman, or I found me a white
I
man.
found me
Now
a black dude now.
We're allowed to say I found
We're
me
a
a black
team
dude.
again.
That's right. That's because I'm almost 80 there, see. So
Oh, I know. It's that age thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do that. You know what I mean? But the musical
You
thing.
must feel like a ham sandwich between us.
I do.
true.
Or that or an Oreo cookie. I don't know.
She is a ham.
I'm trying to keep it low key. One comedian at a time is enough on
I
this
love a
show.
show where the producer is actually part of the show.
We do this all the time.
It gets
makes
bigger
for fun.
laughs than the guests. I don't understand it.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. So yeah, the musical side. You are also a musician. You wrote
A
music.
singer,
Yeah,
a writer, a straight man, a gay man. I'm everything.
Black man,
Yeah,
white
a
man,
black
woman. Next you're gonna know you're gonna be a white woman, aren't you?
But I am directing Rich Little's new show now called
Is that right?
called Jimmy Stewart and Friends. A phenomenal show. He plays 29 characters.
Oh wow.
And we're getting ready to bring it to Broadway, hopefully in April.
Oh, that's great to hear.
And we just did about 10 versions of it, and we're gonna.
Trying it
doing
out
some
in
more.
Vegas first before
No,
you take it to
we've
Broadway,
been
or
doing
no?
it on the road right now.
Oh, okay.
But it's possible we might be doing it in town for a couple of weeks.
Oh, I'd
just
love to see that.
Let the Vegas crowd see
We
us,
gotta have
you
him
know.
on the show. Bring
Oh
him in.
yeah, bring
Oh, yeah.
Rich. Maybe
Rich.
he
Oh,
might
yeah.
can do a few of those people for us.
What influences you to write and do things like that? I mean, your creativity, where does it come from?
I think you're born with it.
Is that right?
You know,
It's there.
Yeah, I never studied how to write comedy. I mean, I went to Loyola University and studied communication arts and theater and Latin and Greek and a lot of stuff. But the writing came naturally, and I think a lot of times it's because you have to do certain things.
Right.
You can't afford to hire a writer, so you
Right.
become a writer.
Kind of like us,
Yeah.
Al.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we just
You know.
got to do things off the cuff here, and
Yeah.
because we can't afford but a producer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she keeps giving us these funky hand signals,
Yeah.
like,
Well, yeah. Well, she used to work in a sports book.
I thought she used to be on the tarmac directing planes and, like this.
She's quite a
Or
gal.
Italian.
She's quite a gal.
So you were inducted in
The
a
Legends
Hall of Fame.
The Legends Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
about 5 years ago. And Rich is in the Hollywood Wall of Fame, and I'm also in the Palm Springs Wall of Fame.
Wall of Fame? Ball
Well,
of
the
Fame?
wall-
Hall of Fame?
no,
Or Wall of
the
Fame?
Star. The Star.
Yeah. Right.
The Star Walk,
Mm.
they call it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
And
think that's
Rich
great.
and a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to be alive and still be
You
doing
know, I
what
think
I'm
it's
doing.
great. Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And you got a
Although,
lot of life left.
Yeah, actually, I opened the show with a lot of you people might not remember me, but I used to look a lot better when I was alive. And, sort
It's
of
amazing
warmed
what
them up.
makeup does to
Yeah.
you, right? Yeah. Makeup and good lighting.
But it's great to be here on television, and this studio is beautiful. And what an audience! You have 300
I know,
people
isn't that
in the
amazing?
studio.
Just
this
listen
small.
to.
Wow. And
the
they're
crowd
just
goes
going
wild.
crazy. Can't wait to get this tape.
Oh yeah, you know we are also on YouTube. If anybody would like to go to KPVM-TV on YouTube, and then you put in Young at Heart,
Right.
and you can
And
catch
there
all
we
of
are.
our episodes on there.
Oh, that's great. Well,
So
I'm on a
get
bunch of
we'll probably
YouTubes.
get 5 more hits now that you're on the show.
I'm on ZTube.
Are you? Oh my gosh. So I know probably everybody asked you this question, but because you are well known to be Marty and, it was Rossi
Alan
and Alan.
Rossi,
Alan. Who got top billing? Was it?
No, Marty did because we just thought Alan sounded better than Rossi and Alan.
Got it.
And
Oh,
there's,
yeah. You were
Marty
had the
and me with
Beatles.
the Beatles on the
I think
Ed
Jeff
Sullivan
has
show
a close-up shot of
in
that, don't you, Jeff?
64. Yeah, he probably has it already.
Was
but-
it their first tour
there it
of the
is.
U.S. that? Was that their first tour of the U.S.
Yes,
when they were
and
doing
it
the
was
Ed
first
Sullivan show?
appearance- That's right. It was
Okay.
1964.
Wow.
February 9th.
Now, were you in the studio that day?
We went on after the Beatles on 3 different
What
Ed
was
Sullivan
that
shows.
like?
It was
The
it
energy.
was tough. It was tough because you had all these teenage girls, and they were screaming, and they were, and the Beatles were probably the
But that
most
had to-
exciting act,
Yes,
rock
and-
act ever.
But that had to pump up your adrenaline.
Yeah, but it
and
doesn't
your
matter
energy, or
because you
doesn't?
got these
Oh.
kids that don't understand the jokes.
Oh.
Right.
So after after we did a couple lines, I said, "Well, screw this." So my piano conductor was there, and we just walked into the audience. She loves you, yay, yay! And we were such a hit from that because we did it about 20 times.
Oh, that is so funny.
Because that was the highest rated television show, Sullivan show.
Yeah,
That's right, Ed Sullivan.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was.
So we
Gosh.
had a ball. And I have this specific picture autographed 4 times by all 4 of them, and then a couple of more times with Paul and with Ringo.
You're going to have to get your autobiography out there and
I'm
let
writing
everybody
it
know.
now.
Yeah, because
Called
you've
Showbiz
got
Undercover, it's called.
you've got an incredible, life that what you've done and all that you've created. We want to read about it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully it'll be out in the next
That's
couple
super.
of years.
Well, we're going to have you back on the show. We love having you.
Yeah.
This is fun, but 10 minutes just flies by
Yeah, it
too
does
darn
fly,
fast. So
And we
everybody,
got 4 seconds to say thanks for
thank you very
for watching,
much
folks,
for
and keep
coming
watching this
on
station.
the show. Lead us into a commercial.
We love you. We
We'll be
love
right
you,
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We love you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we're back.
Did we have a good show or what?
We did.
How are you feeling now? Is your shoulder a little sore?
It's no. My shoulder feel fine, but how's that?
Oh, you big wussy.
I can't help it.
Now
But
you
that
gotta-
feel good.
Oh, I shouldn't call you a wussy. That's not nice.
It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't nice.
But we had fun, and
What did
it
you
was.
call me?
You don't want to hear the alternative.
I confused her. You see?
No, the alternative. Never mind.
What?
Anyway, we had a great show. It
Yes.
was nice to have the information from Southwest Medical.
Yes.
Especially about ABCs.
Wait a minute. What does this
I
mean?
see her do that
What
again.
is that?
Our producer. There is a missing puppy named
Sasha.
And she's missing. I don't know what kind of dog she is, but Jeff's going to put her picture on the screen. And if you have... Oh, that's what Sasha looks like sideways.
Doing.
Now, if we could just flip that picture
She was
over.
tired.
Beautiful dog. What kind of dog was it? It looked almost like a Doberman.
It was a dog lost.
It was a lost dog. So
Sure.
if you have any information, you've come across Sasha, call the station at 727-9400.
That's true.
Yeah, because we will get the information to the owner, and she really looked like a gorgeous dog. How can a big
beautiful
dog
dog
like that get lost?
lost?
I mean, that's something. If you would see that running down the highway.
Unless somebody stole her or something like that.
Well,
That could be.
no, people in Pahrump do those kind of things.
No, they don't. That's true.
This is a community of
Here, doggy.
people.
Here, have some bacon. Bacon, 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 bacon.
I don't have opposable thumbs. Guess what's coming up?
What?
It's something we've talked about every week.
Is that true?
It's the Nevada Wild Fest extravaganza.
Yeah.
And Holly Madison is the host of that. You know, she's from the Playboy show
Right.
Girls
She
Next
just
Door.
insured her parts.
She insured her parts, and the way Pat described it, I love that. She just insured her. Oh my God, I have bounce. Where did I get that? I've never noticed that before. I have boobies.
You guys are funny.
Oh my
You know
God.
that?
Anyway, Holly Madison's going to be hosting that. That is coming up. We'll be able to say it again next week because it's on the 12th of October.
You
through
guys
the
are funny.
16th, 12th to the 16th, so keep that in mind.
In Henderson.
That's in Henderson, the Henderson Pavilion.
Pavilion.
Yeah, so what else do we got? Do you have arthritis problems, or do we only have
that's just 30 seconds.
30? My gosh, it goes
It
fast.
goes fast.
Well, we love you all. We'll be back next week, as we promise,
Well, we'll be
if you
back.
care about it or not.
Of course they care about it.
Of course they do. They love us.
That's true. They love us.
And there's one more person that loves you, Al.
Who's that?
Mr. Rossi.
Oh, Mr. Rossi.
Yes.
Yeah, Z.
Y'all be good. We'll see you next week. We
Take
love
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, you got 15 minutes.
Next week for another entertaining and informative hour of Young at Heart. Have a good day.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if